So I had an interesting day recently where I actually spent the day with our elected sheriff, Grady Judd. His reputation precedes him. I was telling him I was on a listserv with trial lawyers from across the country, and they were talking about presenting a closing argument in an upcoming case. And some lawyer, I think up in Michigan, said, well, you might want to go look at these videos from this sheriff down in Polk County, Florida, because he is like the great communicator and distills things down to such its essence, and he gets the point across. I've even had clients who have moved here from up north. They moved here to live in Polk County because they've seen and heard of him, and they know they're going to be safe here. So I had never met Grady, but I just found him to be this really authentic, genuine human being. What was remarkable is how everybody that we ran into loved him so much. In the sheriff's department and outside the sheriff's department, he just commands so much respect and love. It was impressive to see. The sheriff's department is obviously a very chaotic field because you don't know when a murder is going to happen or a terrible traffic crash. So they're in a very unorganized field, but the sheriff's department that I saw is extremely organized. I attended one of their staff meetings. Everything went so smoothly. It's just incredible. So I brought back a lot of that to the law firm. Like, we're in a chaotic business too. Organization is the key to being in a chaotic business, if that makes sense. I think that the sheriff's department is so organized because they have processes for everything. And that's something that I preach in the law firm. And it's one of the reasons why we have very, very few commercial jet accidents in the United States. Up until the recent accident in Washington, D.C., there was a period of about 11 years where there was only one death in a commercial airliner accident, and that was when a Southwest jet window blew out and a passenger was sucked through the window. But the reason that commercial jets are so safe in the United States is because they use checklists, and there's a process. If you incorporate that in your business, which I saw everywhere I went in the sheriff's department, there's a process, then you can be organized. And that's the way we try to run Brooks Law Group, is in a very organized, process-driven environment. But as I watch Grady throughout the day connect with people from all walks of life, I can give you an example. I saw him speak 3 different times. He spoke at a opening for Polk Vision. He opened in a big theater, and then we were right next door to the police academy, and he spoke to a class there. And then we went up to a Chamber of Commerce in Davenport event, and he spoke there. In between, we actually stopped a speeding motorcycle. Ended up giving the guy a ticket, but then he took a picture with him. So this is a man who connects with you. This is an old saying of mine, from Park Avenue to Park Bench. He can connect with anybody. It takes a person with great humility and compassion, which I saw evident that day. Years ago, I was on the board of Tri-County Human Services, which is an incredible organization, by the way. They had a charity auction back in 2024, and I purchased it, and there's a minimum, so those charity auctions for Grady, a day with Grady Judd, aren't cheap, but it benefited a great charity, and it got me some face time with an incredible human being, Grady Judd. We went to have lunch at I think it was a chamber meeting in Davenport, and we walk in, and there was a sheriff's captain or major there who escorted us and showed us the table and set us, and we put our stuff down, and then we mingled in the crowd, and about 10 minutes later came and sat down at the table. Once everybody sat down and the luncheon started, I realized that I had sat in the chair that was meant for the sheriff, and I felt like crawling under the table. I was so embarrassed. But Sheriff Judd didn't say a thing. It was just a really good experience with him. We're riding down Havendale, heading to Davenport. A motorcycle flew by us, probably going 70 miles an hour. And I asked Sheriff Judd if he ever stopped cars anymore, and he flipped on his siren and his red lights and pulled over the motorcycle. So that was an experience. theme for the day that Grady kept talking about was it takes good people to do good things. This man is a good man. That's why he's accomplished so much, from the police academy to being in the fastest growing county in the United States and still just doing a fantastic job. So it was a great day. We had a great time and just wanted to kind of share a little bit about your elected sheriff in Polk County.